Fact 1. The power of deep breathing. When you take a slow, deliberate breath, something remarkable happens within your nervous system. Your body contains two primary branches of the autonomic nervous system: the sympathetic system, which activates during stress, and the parasympathetic system, which promotes rest and recovery. Deep breathing serves as a direct pathway to activate this parasympathetic response, essentially flipping a biological switch from tension to tranquility. The mechanism behind this process involves the vagus nerve, the longest cranial nerve that connects your brain to major organs throughout your body. When you extend your exhale longer than your inhale, you stimulate this nerve, which sends signals to your heart to slow down, your blood pressure to decrease, and your muscles to release tension. This is not merely a placebo effect, but a measurable physiological response that researchers can observe through heart rate variability monitors and brain imaging technology. Ancient meditation practices discovered this connection thousands of years ago, but modern science has now validated what contemplatives have long known. The 4-7-8 breathing technique, where you inhale for 4 counts, hold for 7, and exhale for 8, creates an almost immediate shift in your nervous system state. Your cortisol levels begin to drop, your mind becomes clearer, and your body naturally prepares for rest. This simple act of conscious breathing becomes a bridge between your active, thinking mind and your peaceful, resting state, making it one of the most accessible tools for instant relaxation. Fact 2. Color psychology and blue tones. The human eye contains specialized cells, called photoreceptors, that respond differently to various wavelengths of light, and blue light wavelengths between 475 and 500 nanometers create a unique psychological response. Research conducted in controlled environments has consistently shown that exposure to blue tones triggers the release of calming neurotransmitters while simultaneously reducing the production of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. This phenomenon occurs because blue wavelengths directly influence the suprachiasmatic nucleus in your brain, which serves as your master biological clock. Blue environments signal to this internal timekeeper that it is time to shift into a more relaxed state. Hospital designers have long utilized this knowledge, painting recovery rooms in soft blue tones to promote healing and reduce patient anxiety. Similarly, many meditation spaces and therapy offices incorporate blue elements to create an atmosphere of psychological safety. The evolutionary basis for this response likely stems from our ancestors' association of blue with safe water sources and clear skies, both indicators of favorable environmental conditions. Your brain has inherited these ancient associations, automatically interpreting blue environments as secure and peaceful. Interior designers and architects now deliberately incorporate various shades of blue to create calming spaces, from the pale powder blues that evoke morning sky to deeper navy tones that suggest the tranquil depths of ocean water. Even visualizing blue in your mind can activate these same neural pathways, making color meditation a powerful tool for instant relaxation and mental peace. Fact 3. The science of nostalgia. Nostalgia operates as a sophisticated emotional regulation system within your brain, activating specific neural networks that promote feelings of safety, connection, and well-being. When you recall positive memories from your past, your brain releases a cocktail of beneficial neurotransmitters including serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin, while simultaneously reducing levels of stress hormones like cortisol and norepinephrine. Recent neuroimaging studies have revealed that nostalgic thinking activates the reward centers of your brain, particularly the ventral tegmental area and nucleus accumbens, the same regions associated with love, attachment, and deep satisfaction. This neurological response explains why reminiscing about childhood summers, family gatherings, or peaceful moments from your past can instantly shift your emotional state from anxiety to tranquility. The psychological benefits of nostalgia extend beyond momentary comfort. Regular engagement with positive memories strengthens neural pathways associated with optimism and resilience, essentially training your brain to default toward peaceful states. This process works because memories are not simply stored files but are reconstructed each time you recall them, allowing your current emotional needs to influence how you remember past events. Researchers have discovered that even brief periods of nostalgic reflection can increase feelings of social connectedness, reduce loneliness, and promote a sense of life meaning. The warm emotions generated by these memories create a psychological buffer against current stressors, providing your mind with evidence of past happiness and future possibility. This makes nostalgia a natural antidote to anxiety and a powerful tool for promoting the peaceful mindset necessary for restful sleep.
Fact 4. Mirror neurons and empathy. Deep within your brain exists a remarkable network of cells called mirror neurons. Discovered by Italian neuroscientist Giacomo Rezolati in the 1990s, these specialized neurons fire both when you perform an action and when you observe someone else performing the same action, creating an automatic neurological bridge between yourself and others. Mirror neurons operate below the threshold of conscious awareness, constantly scanning your environment for emotional and behavioral cues from others. When you observe someone in a state of tranquility, your mirror neuron system automatically begins to replicate that calm state within your own nervous system. This is why meditation groups often report deeper experiences of peace, and why the presence of a sleeping baby or a purring cat can instantly reduce your stress levels. The implications of this discovery extend far beyond simple imitation. Your mirror neuron network helps explain why certain environments feel immediately comforting, while others create tension. Spaces where people naturally move slowly, speak softly, and exhibit relaxed body language trigger your mirror neurons to adopt similar patterns of calm behavior and brain activity. This automatic mirroring response also explains the effectiveness of guided meditation and relaxation videos. When you listen to a calm, soothing voice describing peaceful imagery, your mirror neurons help your brain and body adopt the relaxed state that the speaker embodies. Understanding this process can help you consciously choose environments and media that support your natural capacity for tranquility and rest. Fact 5. The default mode network. Scientists have identified a fascinating brain network called the default mode network, which becomes active when your mind is not focused on any specific task or external stimulus. This network, discovered through advanced brain imaging technology, consists of interconnected regions, including the medial prefrontal cortex, posterior cingulate cortex, and angular gyrus, and it consumes approximately 20% of your brain's total energy, even during rest, engaging in important background processes like memory consolidation, self-reflection, and mental restoration. When this network functions optimally, it promotes feelings of inner peace and psychological well-being. However, when it becomes overactive or dysregulated, it can contribute to rumination, anxiety, and restless thinking patterns that interfere with sleep. Research has shown that meditation and mindfulness practices help regulate the default mode network, reducing its tendency toward repetitive, anxious thinking while preserving its beneficial functions. This regulation occurs through strengthening connections between the network and areas of the brain responsible for attention and emotional control, creating a more balanced and peaceful mental state. Understanding your default mode network can transform how you approach rest and relaxation. By creating conditions that support healthy default mode network activity, such as reducing external stimulation and practicing gentle awareness, you allow your mind to engage in its natural restorative processes, leading to deeper relaxation and more restful sleep. Fact 6. Progressive muscle relaxation. Progressive muscle relaxation, developed by physician Edmund Jacobson in the 1920s, operates on a fundamental principle of neuromuscular psychology. Your brain cannot simultaneously maintain states of physical tension and mental anxiety. This technique involves systematically tensing and then releasing different muscle groups throughout your body, creating a cascade of neurological changes that promote deep relaxation and peaceful sleep. The psychological mechanism behind this practice involves the relationship between your somatic nervous system, which controls voluntary muscle movement, and your autonomic nervous system, which regulates stress responses. When you deliberately tense a muscle group for 5 to 10 seconds, this rebound phenomenon occurs because muscle tension requires significant neurological energy to maintain. When you release this tension, your nervous system experiences a sudden decrease in stimulation, triggering the parasympathetic response and flooding your system with calming neurotransmitters. Your brain interprets this shift as a signal to move into rest and recovery mode, naturally preparing your body for sleep. The practice also serves as a form of body awareness meditation, helping you identify areas where you unconsciously hold stress and tension. Many people discover through progressive muscle relaxation that they habitually tense their shoulders, jaw, or forehead without realizing it. By bringing conscious attention to these patterns and learning to release them, you develop greater overall body awareness and the ability to maintain a more relaxed physical state throughout your daily life. Fact 7. The mere exposure effect. The mere exposure effect, first documented by psychologist Robert Zygonk, reveals that humans naturally develop preferences for things they encounter repeatedly, even without conscious awareness of the repetition. This psychological phenomenon explains why familiar environments, sounds, and routines promote feelings of safety and relaxation, while novel stimuli often trigger alertness and mild stress responses in your nervous system. Your brain evolved to treat familiarity as a signal of safety. Throughout human history, familiar environments indicated the absence of immediate threats, allowing our ancestors to relax their vigilance and conserve energy. This ancient survival mechanism continues to operate in modern life, influencing your emotional responses to everything from music and voices to room layouts and daily schedules. The mere exposure effect operates through neural pathways in your temporal lobe and limbic system, areas responsible for memory formation and emotional processing. Repeated exposure to stimuli creates stronger neural connections, making familiar information easier for your brain to process. This reduced cognitive effort translates directly into feelings of comfort and ease, as your mind requires less energy to navigate familiar territory. This principle explains why bedtime routines prove so effective for promoting sleep. The repetition of specific activities in a consistent sequence creates powerful associations between these familiar actions and relaxation. Your brain begins to anticipate rest as soon as the routine begins, automatically initiating the physiological changes necessary for sleep. Understanding this effect allows you to consciously create environments and practices that leverage familiarity to promote deeper states of tranquility and more restful sleep. Fact 8. Biophilia and nature connection. Biophilia, a term coined by biologist Edward O. Wilson, describes the innate human affinity for natural environments and living systems. This deep-seated connection to nature operates at a neurological level, with exposure to natural elements triggering measurable changes in brain activity, hormone production, and nervous system function that promote relaxation and well-being. When you observe natural scenes, even in photographs or videos, your brain releases endorphins and reduces cortisol production. The visual complexity of natural environments engages your attention in a gentle, effortless way that researchers call soft fascination. Unlike urban environments that demand focused attention and create mental fatigue, natural settings allow your mind to wander freely while maintaining a state of relaxed awareness. The psychological benefits of nature connection extend beyond visual stimulation. Natural sounds like flowing water, rustling leaves, or bird songs activate your parasympathetic nervous system through specific auditory pathways that evolved to recognize safe environmental conditions. Even the irregular patterns found in nature, such as the asymmetrical branching of trees or the random arrangement of clouds, provide your brain with the optimal level of complexity to maintain interest without causing overstimulation. Modern research in environmental psychology has documented that people who spend time in natural settings or even view nature imagery experience reduced anxiety, improved mood, and better sleep quality. This connection operates so fundamentally that simply having plants in your bedroom or nature sounds playing softly can significantly improve your ability to achieve deep, restorative sleep. Your brain recognizes these natural elements as signals that you are in a safe, nurturing environment. Fact 9. The relaxation response. Harvard cardiologist Herbert Benson identified and named the relaxation response in the 1970s, describing it as the physiological opposite of the stress response. This innate biological mechanism represents your body's natural ability to shift from a state of alertness and tension into one of deep calm and restoration, involving measurable changes in metabolism, heart rate, blood pressure, and brainwave patterns. The relaxation response occurs when your hypothalamus, the brain region that controls stress hormones, receives signals that indicate safety and security. This triggers a cascade of biochemical changes. Your breathing naturally slows and deepens. Your heart rate decreases by 10 to 20 beats per minute. Your blood pressure drops and your muscle tension melts away. Simultaneously, your brain begins producing alpha waves, the electrical patterns associated with peaceful, meditative states. What makes this response particularly fascinating is its universality across human cultures and its accessibility through various techniques. Whether triggered through meditation, prayer, progressive muscle relaxation, or simple focused breathing, the physiological outcome remains remarkably consistent. Your body enters a state that promotes healing, memory consolidation, and emotional regulation. Benson's research demonstrated that regular activation of the relaxation response creates lasting changes in gene expression, particularly in genes related to inflammation, cellular aging, and stress resilience. People who practice relaxation techniques daily develop an enhanced ability to access this peaceful state quickly and maintain it for extended periods. This biological capacity for deep relaxation represents one of your most powerful natural resources for managing stress, improving health, and achieving the profound rest necessary for rejuvenating sleep. Fact 10. Oxytocin and social bonding. Oxytocin, often called the love hormone, functions as a powerful neurochemical that promotes feelings of safety, trust, and deep relaxation. This neuropeptide, produced in your hypothalamus and released by your pituitary gland, plays a crucial role in creating the psychological conditions necessary for peaceful sleep and emotional well-being. When oxytocin levels increase in your system, several remarkable changes occur throughout your body and brain. Your stress hormone production decreases significantly. Your heart rate slows to a more peaceful rhythm, and your nervous system shifts into a state of calm alertness. This hormone also enhances your sense of social connection and emotional safety, even when you are physically alone, by activating neural pathways associated with trust and security. The release of oxytocin can be triggered through various gentle activities that require no other person present. Petting animals, listening to soothing music, practicing loving kindness, meditation, or even holding a soft object can stimulate oxytocin production. Physical activities like gentle stretching, warm baths, or slow rhythmic movements also encourage the release of this calming hormone. Research has revealed that oxytocin creates a positive feedback loop in your brain. As levels increase, you become more likely to engage in behaviors that promote further oxytocin release, creating a natural cycle of increasing calm and contentment. This hormone also enhances the quality of your sleep by promoting the deep restorative stages that are essential for physical and mental recovery. Understanding how to naturally encourage oxytocin production gives you access to one of your body's most effective systems for creating lasting feelings of peace and tranquility. Fact 11. Theta brainwaves. Theta brainwaves, oscillating at a frequency between 4 and 8 cycles per second, represent one of the most peaceful states your brain can achieve while remaining conscious. These slow, rhythmic electrical patterns occur naturally during deep meditation, light sleep, and those drowsy moments just before you drift off at night, creating a bridge between your waking consciousness and the restorative world of sleep. When your brain produces theta waves, you enter a state of profound relaxation characterized by reduced analytical thinking and enhanced creativity and intuition. During theta states, your prefrontal cortex, the brain region responsible for executive function and worry, becomes less active, while areas associated with imagery, memory, and emotional processing become more prominent. This shift allows your mind to release the mental tensions accumulated throughout the day. The psychological benefits of theta states extend far beyond simple relaxation. Research has shown that people who regularly experience theta brainwave patterns demonstrate improved emotional regulation, enhanced problem-solving abilities, and deeper access to subconscious insights. These brainwaves also facilitate the consolidation of memories from short-term to long-term storage, making theta states essential for learning and psychological integration. You can encourage theta wave production through various gentle practices, including focused breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, listening to binaural beats, or engaging in repetitive meditative activities like walking or gentle stretching. The key lies in finding activities that occupy your conscious mind, just enough to prevent anxious thinking, while allowing your brain waves to naturally slow into these deeply peaceful rhythms that prepare your entire system for restful, rejuvenating sleep. Fact 12. The psychology of soft textures. Your sense of touch connects directly to your emotional centers through specialized nerve pathways that bypass rational thought processes, making tactile experiences particularly powerful for inducing relaxation and comfort. Soft textures activate C-tactile afferents, a type of nerve fiber that responds specifically to gentle, stroking touch and sends signals directly to brain regions associated with emotional processing and stress regulation. When you encounter soft materials like cashmere, velvet, or smooth cotton, These specialized receptors trigger the release of oxytocin and endorphins, while simultaneously reducing cortisol production. This neurochemical response occurs automatically without conscious thought, because your brain interprets gentle textures as indicators of safety and nurturing. This connection forms early in life through the critical bonding experiences between infants and caregivers, creating lasting associations between soft touch and emotional security. The psychological impact of texture extends beyond immediate comfort to influence your overall stress levels and sleep quality. Environments rich in soft textures signal to your nervous system that you are in a safe, nurturing space where you can lower your defenses and allow natural relaxation to occur. This is why many people instinctively seek out soft blankets, plush pillows, or comfortable clothing when feeling stressed or preparing for sleep. Research in environmental psychology has demonstrated that the mere presence of soft textures in your sleeping environment can improve sleep onset time and enhance sleep quality. Your brain continuously monitors tactile information even during sleep, and soft textures help maintain the parasympathetic nervous system activation necessary for deep, restorative rest throughout the night. Fact 13. Circadian rhythm optimization. Your circadian rhythm operates as an internal biological clock, orchestrated by approximately 20,000 neurons in your suprachiasmatic nucleus that synchronize virtually every physiological process in your body to a roughly 24-hour cycle. This master timekeeper regulates not only when you feel sleepy and alert, but also controls hormone production, body temperature, blood pressure, and immune system function. Light exposure serves as the primary signal that keeps your circadian rhythm aligned with the external world. Specialized cells in your retina detect light and darkness, sending information directly to your suprachiasmatic nucleus without involving your visual cortex. This means your circadian system responds to light even when your eyes are closed, making the management of light exposure crucial for maintaining healthy sleep patterns. When your circadian rhythm functions optimally, your body naturally produces melatonin in the evening hours, beginning approximately 2 hours before your typical bedtime. This hormone, often called the sleep hormone, reduces your core body temperature, slows your heart rate, and creates the physiological conditions necessary for deep, restorative sleep. Disruptions to this natural rhythm, caused by irregular schedules or excessive evening light exposure, can significantly impact your ability to achieve peaceful sleep. You can support your circadian rhythm through consistent sleep and wake times, morning light exposure, and reducing bright light in the evening hours. Creating a predictable daily rhythm signals to your brain when to prepare for rest, making the transition to sleep smoother and more natural. This alignment with your biological rhythms promotes not only better sleep, but also improved mood, energy, and overall well-being. Fact 14. The paradox of choice. Psychologist Barry Schwartz identified a counterintuitive phenomenon in human psychology. Having too many options often leads to increased anxiety, decision fatigue, and decreased satisfaction with whatever choice you ultimately make. This paradox of choice operates through cognitive load theory, where your brain becomes overwhelmed by the mental energy required to evaluate multiple alternatives, leaving fewer resources available for relaxation and peace. When faced with numerous decisions, your prefrontal cortex must work continuously to weigh options, anticipate outcomes, and manage the fear of making suboptimal choices. This constant mental activity keeps your nervous system in a state of mild activation, preventing the deep relaxation necessary for quality sleep. Research has shown that people who face many daily decisions experience elevated cortisol levels and report higher stress even when the choices themselves are relatively minor. The psychological relief that comes from having fewer options explains why many people find bedtime routines so comforting. When you establish consistent patterns for your evening activities, you eliminate decision-making from a time when your mental energy is naturally depleted. Your brain can shift from evaluation mode into automatic, peaceful patterns that support natural sleepiness. Creating environments with limited, carefully curated options promotes mental tranquility by reducing cognitive burden. This principle applies to everything from choosing what to wear to bed to selecting evening entertainment. By intentionally simplifying your choices, particularly in the hours before sleep, you free your mind from unnecessary mental work and create space for the natural relaxation that leads to restorative rest. Simplicity becomes a pathway to serenity. Fact 15. Mindfulness and present moment awareness. Mindfulness represents a fundamental shift in how your brain processes information, moving from future-focused anxiety and past-focused regret into a state of present moment awareness that naturally promotes relaxation and mental clarity. When you practice mindfulness, you activate the anterior cingulate cortex and prefrontal cortex while reducing activity in the amygdala, the brain region responsible for fear and stress responses. This neurological shift occurs because mindfulness interrupts the default mental patterns of rumination and worry that typically consume mental energy and maintain nervous system activation. Instead of getting caught in loops of anxious thinking about tomorrow's responsibilities or rehashing today's challenges, mindful awareness anchors your attention in immediate sensory experience, where no threats exist and natural calm can emerge. The practice of mindfulness creates measurable changes in brain structure over time, increasing gray matter density in areas associated with emotional regulation, while reducing the size and reactivity of stress processing regions. These changes explain why people who practice mindfulness regularly report improved sleep quality, reduced anxiety, and greater overall life satisfaction. Present moment awareness can be cultivated through simple techniques that require no special training or equipment. Focusing on your breath, noticing physical sensations, or paying attention to sounds around you immediately brings your consciousness into the present moment. This shift from mental time travel to present awareness naturally reduces the cognitive arousal that interferes with sleep, allowing your mind to settle into the peaceful state necessary for deep rest. Mindfulness becomes a gentle return to the natural tranquility that exists beneath the surface of busy thinking. Fact 16. The vagus nerve response. The vagus nerve, the longest and most complex of your 12 cranial nerves, serves as a primary pathway for activating your body's natural relaxation response. This remarkable nerve extends from your brainstem down through your neck, chest, and abdomen, connecting your brain to your heart, lungs, digestive system, and other vital organs. This nerve operates as a biological superhighway for parasympathetic signals, the branch of your nervous system responsible for rest, digestion, and recovery. When your vagus nerve is functioning optimally, it helps regulate heart rate variability, promotes efficient breathing patterns, and enhances your body's ability to return to baseline calm after experiencing stress or excitement. Several simple techniques can stimulate healthy vagus nerve function. Cold water exposure, such as splashing cool water on your face or taking a brief cold shower, activates this nerve through the dive response, an ancient mammalian reflex that automatically slows your heart rate and promotes calm, while gentle neck stretches and slow head movements can enhance vagal tone. Research has shown that people with stronger vagus nerve function, measured through heart rate variability, demonstrate better emotional regulation, faster recovery from stress, and improved sleep quality. By understanding and nurturing your vagus nerve through gentle daily practices, you develop a more resilient nervous system that naturally tends toward peace and relaxation, making it easier to transition into the deep, restful sleep your body needs for optimal health and well-being. Fact 17. Positive psychology and gratitude. Creating a natural antidepressant effect that promotes both emotional well-being and physical relaxation. Brain regions associated with emotional regulation and social cognition. This activation strengthens neural pathways related to positive thinking while weakening connections associated with rumination and anxiety. Over time, regular gratitude practice creates lasting changes in brain structure that make peaceful, contented states more accessible. The psychological mechanism behind gratitude's calming effects involves attention and perspective. When you deliberately focus on positive aspects of your life, you redirect mental energy away from problems, worries, and stressors. Gratitude practice before bedtime proves particularly effective because it helps your mind release the day's tensions and frustrations while highlighting positive experiences and relationships, promoting the peaceful mindset necessary for deep, restorative sleep. Gratitude becomes a gentle bridge between the challenges of your day and the peace of your night. Fact 18. The science of slow movement. Deliberate, slow movement triggers a fascinating neurological response that promotes deep relaxation and mental tranquility. When you move at approximately half your normal speed, your brain shifts from sympathetic nervous system activation associated with quick reactions and stress responses into parasympathetic dominance, the state responsible for rest, recovery, and peaceful sleep. This phenomenon occurs because slow movement requires enhanced proprioceptive awareness, the sense of your body's position and movement in space. This heightened body awareness activates the insula, a brain region that integrates sensory information with emotional processing. As your insula becomes more active, it promotes present moment awareness while reducing activity in brain areas associated with worry and rumination. Slow movement also influences your breathing patterns automatically. When you move deliberately, your breathing naturally deepens and slows to match your movement rhythm, triggering the relaxation response through increased oxygen delivery and reduced carbon dioxide retention. This creates a positive feedback loop where slow movement promotes calm breathing, which in turn supports even greater relaxation. Various forms of slow movement practice, from Tai Chi and Qigong to gentle yoga and walking meditation, have been scientifically validated for their stress reduction benefits. These practices work by engaging your mind in simple, repetitive patterns that require just enough attention to prevent anxious thinking while promoting the flow of calming neurotransmitters. The beauty of slow movement lies in its accessibility. You can practice it anywhere, anytime, simply by choosing to move through your environment with greater deliberation and awareness, creating instant access to deeper states of tranquility and peace. Fact 19. Aromatherapy and olfactory memory. Your sense of smell connects directly to the limbic system, the ancient brain region responsible for emotion, memory, and stress regulation, through the shortest neural pathway of all your senses. This direct connection means that certain scents can trigger immediate changes in your emotional state and nervous system function, without requiring conscious thought or interpretation. When you inhale calming essential oils like lavender, chamomile, or sandalwood, the aromatic molecules bind to olfactory receptors in your nasal cavity, which send signals directly to your amygdala and hippocampus. These brain regions then release neurotransmitters like serotonin and GABA, natural chemicals that promote relaxation and reduce anxiety. Research has consistently demonstrated that lavender aromatherapy can decrease heart rate, lower blood pressure, and improve sleep quality within minutes of exposure. The power of scent-based relaxation also operates through associative learning and memory formation. When you repeatedly pair specific aromas with relaxation practices or peaceful environments, your brain creates strong neural connections between these scents and states of tranquility. Over time, simply encountering these familiar aromas can instantly trigger the relaxation response. Regardless of your current stress level or environment, essential oils work most effectively when used consistently as part of your bedtime routine. Adding a few drops of calming oil to your pillow, using a diffuser in your bedroom, or applying diluted oils to your skin creates powerful sensory anchors for sleep. Your olfactory system continues processing scent information even during sleep, helping maintain the peaceful nervous system state necessary for deep restorative rest throughout the night. Fact 20. The power of repetitive patterns. Repetitive patterns, whether visual, auditory, or kinesthetic, possess a unique ability to calm your nervous system by providing your brain with predictable stimulation that requires minimal cognitive processing. This phenomenon occurs because repetitive patterns engage your attention just enough to prevent anxious rumination while allowing your mind to settle into increasingly peaceful states. Your brain evolved to find comfort in predictable patterns because they signal environmental stability and safety. When early humans encountered regular, rhythmic patterns in nature, such as waves lapping against the shore or wind moving through trees, these sounds indicated the absence of immediate threats. Your modern brain maintains this ancient programming, automatically relaxing when it detects safe, repetitive stimuli. Neurologically, repetitive patterns activate the anterior cingulate cortex, a brain region that helps regulate attention and emotional responses. This activation creates a state of relaxed focus, where your mind remains gently engaged without becoming overstimulated. Research has shown that people exposed to repetitive patterns experience decreased activity in the amygdala, the brain's alarm system, leading to reduced anxiety and improved emotional regulation. Various forms of repetitive patterns can promote relaxation and sleep. Gentle, rhythmic sounds like rainfall, ocean waves, or steady heartbeats create auditory patterns that encourage slow breathing and heart rate synchronization. Visual patterns, such as slowly moving geometric shapes or repetitive nature scenes, provide calming focal points for meditation. Even repetitive physical movements, like gentle rocking or rhythmic breathing, create kinesthetic patterns that soothe your nervous system. Understanding this principle allows you to consciously incorporate beneficial repetitive elements into your environment and bedtime routine, creating natural pathways to deeper relaxation and peaceful sleep. Fact 21. Forest bathing psychology. Forest bathing, or Shinrin-yoku as it is known in Japan, represents a scientifically validated practice of immersing yourself mindfully in natural forest environments to promote psychological and physiological well-being. Research conducted in Japanese forests has documented remarkable changes in stress hormone levels, immune system function, and nervous system activity that occur within minutes of entering wooded environments. When you spend time among trees, you inhale phytoncides, airborne chemical compounds that trees release to protect themselves from insects and bacteria. These natural aromatics trigger measurable changes in your nervous system, reducing cortisol and adrenaline production, while boosting the activity of natural killer cells, immune system components that help protect against illness and promote overall health. The psychological benefits of forest environments extend beyond chemical exposure to include visual and auditory elements that naturally promote relaxation. The complex, fractal patterns found in tree branches, leaves, and forest floor create optimal visual complexity for your brain, engaging your attention in a gentle, non-demanding way that researchers call effortless attention. This type of engagement allows your mind to rest from the directed attention required by urban environments. Forest sounds, including rustling leaves, bird songs, and flowing water, activate your parasympathetic nervous system through specific auditory frequencies that signal safety and tranquility. Even brief exposure to forest environments or high-quality recordings of forest sounds can trigger these beneficial responses. The cumulative effect of these sensory experiences creates a profound state of relaxation that can improve sleep quality for days after exposure, making forest bathing a powerful tool for stress reduction and sleep enhancement. Fact 22. The comfort zone phenomenon. Your comfort zone represents a psychological state where your anxiety levels remain low because activities and environments feel familiar and predictable. This zone exists within specific parameters of arousal and stimulation that your nervous system has learned to associate with safety and security, creating a neurological baseline where relaxation can occur naturally. The comfort zone operates through established neural pathways that require minimal cognitive energy to navigate. When you engage in familiar activities or remain in well-known environments, your prefrontal cortex expends less energy on threat assessment and decision-making, allowing more mental resources to be directed toward relaxation and recovery. This reduced cognitive load automatically promotes the calm mental state necessary for peaceful sleep. Within your comfort zone, your brain can engage its default mode network more effectively, allowing for the background processing and memory consolidation that occur during restful states. This explains why many people sleep better in their own beds, surrounded by familiar objects and routines. The psychological safety of familiar environments signals to your nervous system that vigilance is unnecessary. However, the comfort zone also provides valuable insights into managing anxiety and promoting relaxation. By gradually expanding your comfort zone through gentle exposure to new experiences, while maintaining a foundation of familiar, safe practices, you can build psychological resilience without overwhelming your nervous system. Understanding the boundaries of your comfort zone allows you to consciously create environments and routines that support natural relaxation. When preparing for sleep, returning to the familiar safety of your comfort zone helps your brain and body transition smoothly from the day's activities into the peaceful surrender necessary for deep, restorative rest. Fact 23. Bilateral brain stimulation. Bilateral brain stimulation involves alternating activation between the left and right hemispheres of your brain through various sensory inputs, creating a unique neurological state that promotes emotional regulation and stress reduction. This phenomenon occurs naturally during REM sleep, but can also be induced through specific techniques that help prepare your mind and body for restful sleep. When your brain processes alternating left-right stimulation, it activates the corpus callosum, the bridge of neural tissue that connects your brain hemispheres. This activation promotes integration between analytical and creative brain functions, while reducing hyperactivity in stress processing regions. The result is a balanced, calm mental state characterized by reduced anxiety and enhanced emotional stability. Eye movement, desensitization, and reprocessing therapy utilizes bilateral stimulation to help people process traumatic memories. But the same principles can be applied for general relaxation. Simple techniques like alternately tensing and releasing left and right muscle groups, listening to audio that moves between left and right ears, or engaging in gentle left-right movements like walking or swaying can activate this calming response. The effectiveness of bilateral stimulation appears to stem from its ability to synchronize brainwave patterns across both hemispheres, creating coherent neural activity that promotes inner peace. This synchronization reduces the mental fragmentation that often accompanies stress and anxiety, allowing your consciousness to settle into a more unified, tranquil state. During the transition to sleep, bilateral stimulation can help integrate the day's experiences while promoting the neural coherence necessary for deep, restorative rest. Understanding this process gives you access to a powerful tool for managing stress and enhancing sleep quality. Fact 24. The psychology of warm colors. Warm colors, particularly soft oranges, gentle yellows, and muted reds, trigger specific psychological responses that promote feelings of safety, comfort, and relaxation. These responses occur because warm colors activate neural pathways associated with sunlight, fire, and other environmental elements that historically provided safety and sustenance for human communities. When you observe warm colors, your brain releases small amounts of serotonin and dopamine while reducing cortisol production. This neurochemical response occurs automatically, without conscious awareness, because your visual processing system interprets warm colors as indicators of favorable environmental conditions. The psychological association between warm colors and security forms early in life and continues throughout adulthood. Research in environmental psychology has demonstrated that rooms painted in warm, muted tones promote better sleep quality and reduced anxiety compared to cool or bright color schemes. Warm colors appear to lower blood pressure and heart rate while encouraging deeper, slower breathing patterns. These physiological changes create ideal conditions for the natural onset of sleepiness. The optimal warm colors for relaxation avoid overstimulation by maintaining low saturation and moderate brightness. Soft peachy tones, gentle terracotta shades, and warm beige colors provide the psychological benefits of warmth without creating the arousal associated with bright, intense hues. Evening lighting that emphasizes warm color temperatures similar to candlelight or sunset helps signal to your circadian rhythm that it is time to begin preparing for sleep. By consciously incorporating gentle, warm colors into your sleeping environment and evening routine, you create visual cues that support your natural transition from wakefulness to the peaceful surrender of restful sleep. Fact 25. Attachment Theory and Security Attachment Theory, developed by John Bowlby, explains how early relationships with caregivers create internal working models that influence your capacity for feeling safe and secure throughout life. These models operate largely outside conscious awareness, shaping how your nervous system responds to stress and determining your baseline capacity for relaxation and peaceful sleep. Secure attachment patterns, characterized by consistent, responsive caregiving in early life, create neural pathways that support emotional regulation and stress resilience. People with secure attachment styles tend to have better functioning parasympathetic nervous systems, allowing them to return to calm states more quickly after experiencing stress or excitement. This enhanced capacity for self-soothing translates directly into better sleep quality and easier transitions between waking and sleeping states. Even if your early attachment experiences were less than ideal, your brain retains the capacity for developing earned security through positive relationships and therapeutic experiences throughout life. Neuroplasticity research has shown that the neural patterns associated with secure attachment can be strengthened at any age through practices that promote safety, trust, and emotional regulation. Creating conditions of felt safety becomes crucial for accessing deep relaxation and peaceful sleep. This involves establishing consistent routines, maintaining predictable environments, and engaging in self-care practices that communicate safety to your nervous system. Simple actions like keeping your sleeping space clean and organized, maintaining regular bedtime routines, or having comforting objects nearby can activate the neural pathways associated with secure attachment. Understanding your attachment patterns and consciously creating experiences of safety and security helps your nervous system develop greater capacity for the trust and surrender necessary for truly restorative sleep. Fact 26. The placebo effect. The placebo effect demonstrates the remarkable power of belief and expectation to create measurable physiological changes in your body, including the activation of natural relaxation responses. When you expect something to help you feel calmer or sleep better, your brain often creates the very biochemical changes necessary to fulfill that expectation, highlighting the profound connection between mind and body. This phenomenon occurs through the release of endogenous opioids, your body's natural morphine-like substances, along with changes in neurotransmitter activity in regions of your brain responsible for pain perception, anxiety, and stress response. Neuroimaging studies have shown that placebo responses activate the same brain regions as actual medications, demonstrating that expectation alone can trigger real neurological changes. The placebo effect operates particularly strongly in the realm of relaxation and sleep, because these states involve subjective experiences that are highly influenced by belief and expectation. When you believe that a particular practice, environment, or routine will help you relax, your brain begins implementing the physiological changes necessary to create that experience before you even engage in the practice. This understanding empowers you to harness the placebo effect intentionally for promoting relaxation and better sleep. By approaching your bedtime routine with positive expectation and genuine belief in its effectiveness, you activate powerful mind-body connections that enhance the actual benefits of your relaxation practices. Creating small rituals around sleep preparation, such as brewing herbal tea or arranging your pillows in a specific way, can become powerful placebo triggers that signal to your entire system that it is time to shift into peaceful, restorative sleep. The key lies in cultivating genuine positive expectation about your ability to achieve deep relaxation. Fact 27. Cognitive load theory. Cognitive load theory explains how your brain's processing capacity affects your ability to relax and achieve peaceful sleep. Your working memory, the mental workspace where you consciously process information, has limited capacity. When this workspace becomes overloaded with too much information, decisions, or stimulation, your nervous system remains in an activated state that prevents natural relaxation from occurring. John Sweller's research identified 3 types of cognitive load: intrinsic load, from the essential complexity of tasks; extraneous load, from poor presentation or unnecessary complexity; and germane load, from the mental effort required to process and integrate new information. When the total cognitive load exceeds your brain's processing capacity, stress hormones increase and relaxation becomes difficult or impossible. This principle explains why busy, cluttered environments often interfere with sleep, while simple, organized spaces promote tranquility. Your brain continuously processes visual information from your environment, and cluttered spaces create ongoing cognitive demands that prevent your nervous system from fully relaxing. Similarly, trying to process multiple streams of information simultaneously, such as watching television while scrolling through your phone, creates cognitive overload that maintains mental activation. Reducing cognitive load before bedtime becomes essential for quality sleep. This involves simplifying your environment, limiting information input, and engaging in activities that require minimal mental processing. Simple practices like dimming lights, reducing visual complexity in your bedroom, and avoiding challenging mental tasks in the evening hours help your brain transition from active processing mode into the peaceful, low stimulation state necessary for sleep. Understanding cognitive load theory empowers you to create conditions that support natural mental rest and deeper sleep. Fact 28. The science of lullabies. Lullabies represent a universal human practice that operates through specific musical elements scientifically proven to promote relaxation and sleep. These gentle songs typically feature slow tempos around 60 beats per minute, which naturally synchronizes with your resting heart rate. Simple melodies that require minimal cognitive processing and repetitive structures that promote predictability and comfort. The neurological impact of lullabies involves multiple brain systems working in harmony. The auditory cortex processes the musical elements, while the limbic system responds to the emotional content, and the motor cortex entrains to the rhythm, creating whole brain integration that promotes peaceful states. This integration reduces activity in the prefrontal cortex, the brain region responsible for analytical thinking and worry. Research has demonstrated that lullabies affect brainwave patterns, encouraging the production of alpha and theta waves associated with relaxation and light sleep. The specific combination of rhythm, melody, and often familiar lyrics creates a perfect storm of neurological conditions for transitioning from wakefulness to sleep. Even adults who listen to lullabies or lullaby-like music before bedtime show improved sleep onset time and sleep quality. The psychological comfort of lullabies extends beyond their musical properties to include their associations with safety, care, and nurturing. These songs often carry memories of being cared for and protected, triggering the release of oxytocin and activating neural pathways related to secure attachment. Whether you listen to traditional lullabies, gentle instrumental music, or nature sounds with similar rhythmic qualities, you can harness the scientifically validated power of these musical elements to guide your nervous system into the peaceful state necessary for deep restorative sleep. Fact 29. Temperature psychology. Your body temperature plays a crucial role in regulating your sleep-wake cycle and promoting the deep relaxation necessary for quality rest. Your core body temperature naturally fluctuates throughout the day, dropping by 1 to 2 degrees in the evening hours as part of your circadian rhythm, signaling to your brain that it is time to prepare for sleep. This temperature regulation occurs through the hypothalamus, which monitors both your internal temperature and environmental thermal conditions. When your core temperature begins to drop, your brain interprets this as a signal to release melatonin and initiate other sleep-promoting processes, creating environmental conditions that support this natural temperature. Decline can significantly enhance your ability to fall asleep quickly and maintain deep sleep throughout the night. The ideal sleeping environment maintains a temperature between 65 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit, cool enough to support your body's natural temperature drop, but warm enough to prevent discomfort. Your extremities, particularly your hands and feet, serve as temperature regulation zones that help dissipate excess heat. Wearing light socks or placing a warm water bottle at your feet can improve circulation and help your body achieve optimal temperature balance. Beyond environmental temperature, activities that gently warm and then cool your body can trigger the relaxation response. A warm bath, taken 1 to 2 hours before bedtime, raises your core temperature temporarily, and the subsequent cooling period as you dry off and prepare for bed mimics and enhances your natural temperature cycle. This thermal manipulation provides a powerful, natural method for signaling to your entire system that it is time to transition into the peaceful, restorative state of sleep. Fact 30. The anchoring effect in comfort. The anchoring effect in psychology describes how your brain uses initial pieces of information as reference points for making subsequent judgments and decisions. In the context of relaxation and sleep, certain environmental cues become anchored to states of peace and tranquility, creating powerful triggers that can instantly shift your nervous system toward relaxation. These comfort anchors develop through repeated association between specific stimuli and relaxed states. When you consistently use the same pillow, blanket, or sleeping position while experiencing peaceful sleep, your brain creates strong neural connections between these physical cues and the neurochemical state of relaxation. Over time, simply encountering these anchored stimuli begins to trigger the relaxation response automatically. The formation of comfort anchors involves multiple brain regions working together. Your hippocampus encodes the contextual memories associated with relaxation, while your amygdala evaluates the emotional significance of these cues. When you encounter an established comfort anchor, these brain regions communicate to initiate the cascade of hormonal and neurological changes associated with relaxation and sleep preparation. Fact 31. Flow state psychology. Flow state represents a psychological condition where your consciousness becomes so absorbed in an activity that self-criticism, time awareness, and mental chatter disappear completely, leaving behind a profound sense of peace and effortless concentration. Psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi identified this state through decades of research, discovering that flow experiences share common characteristics, including complete present moment focus, intrinsic motivation, and the temporary dissolution of self-consciousness. During flow states, your brain undergoes a process called transient hypofrontality, where the prefrontal cortex, responsible for self-criticism and analytical thinking, becomes less active. This neurological shift allows other brain regions to function more freely, creating enhanced creativity, intuitive problem-solving, and deep emotional satisfaction. The reduction in prefrontal activity also quiets the internal dialogue that often prevents relaxation and peaceful sleep. Flow states naturally promote the production of endorphins, norepinephrine, dopamine, and anandamide, creating a powerful cocktail of feel-good neurochemicals that promote both immediate pleasure and lasting calm. These neurochemicals work together to reduce stress, enhance mood, and create the positive emotional states that support quality sleep. The afterglow from flow experiences can last for hours, creating ideal conditions for evening relaxation. You can cultivate flow-like states before bedtime through gentle, absorbing activities that match your skill level and interest. Reading poetry, doing simple crafts, listening to music, or engaging in light stretching can create mild flow experiences that help transition your mind from active thinking into peaceful absorption. The key lies in choosing activities that engage your attention without creating stress or overstimulation, allowing your consciousness to settle naturally into the calm, focused state that precedes restful sleep. Fact 32. The science of gentle touch. Gentle touch activates a specialized nerve pathway in your skin called C-tactile afferents, which responds specifically to light, stroking touch, and sends signals directly to brain regions associated with emotional processing and social bonding. Unlike other touch receptors that primarily convey information about pressure, temperature, or texture, these nerves appear designed specifically to promote emotional comfort and stress reduction. When C-tactile afferents are stimulated through gentle touch, they trigger the release of oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone, while simultaneously reducing cortisol levels and activating the parasympathetic nervous system. This neurochemical response occurs whether the touch comes from another person, an animal, or even self-administered gentle contact, making touch-based relaxation techniques accessible even when you are alone. The optimal touch for promoting relaxation involves light pressure applied at slow speeds, approximately 3 to 5 centimeters per second. This speed appears to be hardwired into your nervous system as optimal for triggering comfort responses. Research has shown that touch at this speed activates the insula, a brain region that integrates sensory and emotional information, promoting feelings of safety and well-being. Self-administered gentle touch can be particularly effective for bedtime relaxation. Lightly stroking your arms, gently massaging your hands, or softly touching your face can activate these calming pathways and help prepare your nervous system for sleep. The combination of physical comfort and neurochemical changes created by gentle touch makes it one of the most accessible and effective tools for promoting the peaceful, secure feeling necessary for deep, restorative sleep. Understanding this science empowers you to use touch intentionally as a pathway to tranquility. Fact 33. Visualization and mental imagery. Mental imagery engages the same neural networks in your brain that process actual sensory experiences, making visualization a powerful tool for creating states of relaxation and preparing your mind for peaceful sleep. When you imagine calming scenes like gentle ocean waves, peaceful meadows, or cozy fireplaces, your visual cortex, auditory processing areas, and even your somatosensory regions activate as if you were actually experiencing these environments. This neurological response occurs because your brain processes imagined experiences and real experiences through overlapping neural pathways. Functional magnetic resonance imaging studies have shown that visualizing relaxing scenes activates the same brain regions that respond to actual exposure to these environments, triggering the release of calming neurotransmitters and reducing stress hormone production. The effectiveness of visualization for relaxation stems from its ability to redirect your attention away from anxious thoughts and worries toward peaceful, controllable mental content. When you consciously choose what to visualize, you exercise cognitive control over your mental environment, creating psychological conditions that support natural relaxation. This process engages your imagination in service of tranquility rather than allowing it to generate worst-case scenarios or replay stressful events. Guided imagery techniques often incorporate multiple sensory modalities to enhance their effectiveness, imagining not just the visual aspects of a peaceful scene, but also the sounds, smells, textures, and even tastes associated with that environment creates richer neural activation and deeper relaxation responses. This multisensory approach helps your brain create more complete and compelling alternative realities that can effectively replace anxious mental content with peaceful imagery, facilitating the calm mental state necessary for transitioning into restful sleep. Fact 34. The psychology of horizontal positions. Lying down triggers an immediate neurological response that signals to your brain and nervous system that it is time to shift from active, alert states into rest and recovery modes. This response occurs through several interconnected systems, including your vestibular system, which monitors spatial orientation, your cardiovascular system, which adjusts to gravitational changes, and your brainstem, which regulates arousal and sleep cycles. When you assume a horizontal position, your heart no longer needs to work against gravity to circulate blood throughout your body, leading to an immediate reduction in heart rate and blood pressure. This cardiovascular shift sends signals to your brain that physical demands have decreased, triggering the release of parasympathetic neurotransmitters that promote relaxation and prepare your body for sleep. The vestibular system in your inner ear also plays a crucial role in this response. When you lie down, the fluid-filled semicircular canals that help maintain balance send information to your brainstem, indicating that balance and spatial awareness are no longer necessary. This information helps deactivate the alertness systems that keep you upright and responsive to your environment during waking hours. Horizontal positions also influence your breathing patterns, allowing your diaphragm to move more freely and your rib cage to expand more fully. This enhanced breathing capacity naturally promotes deeper, slower breaths that further activate the relaxation response. The combination of reduced cardiovascular demands deactivated balance systems, and improved breathing creates an optimal physiological environment for sleep. Understanding this natural response can help you appreciate why simply lying down begins the process of transitioning your entire system toward the peaceful, restorative state necessary for quality sleep. Fact 35. Endorphin release patterns. Endorphins, your body's natural opioid-like substances, function as powerful agents of relaxation and well-being, capable of creating profound states of peace and contentment. These neurochemicals, produced primarily in your pituitary gland and hypothalamus, bind to the same brain receptors as morphine, creating natural pain relief and euphoric feelings that promote both emotional calm and physical relaxation. Your brain releases endorphins in response to various gentle stimuli that signal safety and pleasure. Light exercise, such as gentle stretching or slow walking, triggers endorphin production without creating the high-intensity activation associated with vigorous workouts. Laughter, music, pleasant social interactions, and even certain foods can stimulate endorphin release, creating natural pathways to relaxation that require no external substances or interventions. The timing of endorphin release follows predictable patterns that you can learn to recognize and influence. These neurochemicals typically peak 15 to 30 minutes after triggering activities and can remain elevated for several hours, creating windows of enhanced calm and well-being. Understanding these patterns allows you to time endorphin-promoting activities strategically before bedtime to maximize their sleep-enhancing benefits. Endorphins also interact synergistically with other relaxation-promoting neurochemicals in your brain. When endorphin levels are elevated, your brain becomes more responsive to oxytocin, serotonin, and GABA, creating amplified relaxation responses that can lead to profound states of peace and tranquility. This neurochemical synergy explains why activities that combine multiple endorphin triggers, such as gentle movement, while listening to music or sharing pleasant conversation during a warm bath, can create exceptionally powerful relaxation experiences that naturally prepare your mind and body for deep, restorative sleep. Fact 36. The quiet mind paradox. The quiet mind paradox reveals a counterintuitive truth about mental peace. The more you try to force your mind to be quiet, the more active and agitated it becomes, while accepting and gently observing your thoughts naturally leads to mental stillness and tranquility. This phenomenon occurs because the effort to control or suppress thoughts activates the same prefrontal cortex regions responsible for executive function and alertness, maintaining the very mental activation you are trying to reduce. Neuroscientist Judson Brewer's research has demonstrated that the brain's default mode network, responsible for self-referential thinking and mental wandering, becomes more active when you struggle against your thoughts. This increased activity perpetuates the cycle of mental restlessness that prevents relaxation and interferes with sleep. Paradoxically, adopting an attitude of gentle acceptance toward your mental activity allows this network to settle naturally. The solution lies in developing what Buddhist psychology calls effortless effort, a state of relaxed awareness where you observe your thoughts without becoming attached to them or trying to change them. This approach activates brain regions associated with mindful awareness while reducing activity in areas linked to rumination and worry. Your thoughts continue to arise and pass away naturally, but they lose their power to create stress and maintain wakefulness. Practicing the quiet mind paradox before bedtime involves simply noticing whatever thoughts arise without judgment or resistance. Like watching clouds drift across the sky, you can observe your mental activity with gentle curiosity rather than frustration or control. This shift from fighting your thoughts to befriending them creates the psychological conditions necessary for natural mental settling, allowing your consciousness to drift peacefully toward the quiet, restful state that precedes deep sleep.
Fact 37. Seasonal affective responses. Your brain contains sophisticated mechanisms for responding to seasonal changes in light availability, temperature, and environmental conditions, with these responses significantly influencing your mood, energy levels, and sleep patterns. The suprachiasmatic nucleus, your master biological clock, continuously monitors light exposure through specialized retinal cells and adjusts various physiological processes to match seasonal rhythms. During shorter daylight periods, your brain naturally produces higher levels of melatonin for longer periods, creating a biological tendency toward increased sleep and rest. This represents an adaptive response that helped human ancestors conserve energy during challenging winter months. However, modern lifestyles often conflict with these natural seasonal rhythms, creating internal tension that can disrupt sleep and mood regulation. Understanding seasonal affective responses allows you to work with your natural biological tendencies rather than against them. During darker months, embracing slightly longer sleep periods and more frequent rest breaks aligns with your brain's natural seasonal programming. Creating cozy, warm environments with soft lighting during these periods supports your nervous system's natural inclination toward hibernation-like states. Light therapy research has revealed that exposure to bright full-spectrum light during morning hours can help regulate seasonal mood changes while maintaining healthy sleep patterns. However, the gentle acceptance of seasonal rhythms, rather than fighting against them, often provides the most sustainable approach to maintaining psychological well-being throughout the year. Honoring your brain's natural seasonal responses by adjusting your sleep schedule, activity levels, and environmental conditions creates harmony between your internal rhythms and external conditions, promoting deeper relaxation and more restorative sleep during every season. Fact 38. The psychology of personal space. Personal space represents an invisible psychological boundary that significantly influences your stress levels, emotional regulation, and ability to achieve deep relaxation. Your brain continuously monitors the proximity of other people, objects, and environmental elements, using this spatial information to assess safety and determine appropriate levels of nervous system activation. When your personal space feels adequately protected and respected, your nervous system can shift into parasympathetic dominance, the state associated with rest, recovery, and peaceful sleep. This occurs because adequate personal space signals to your amygdala, the brain's threat detection center, that you are in a secure environment where vigilance is unnecessary. Conversely, when personal space feels invaded or insufficient, your brain maintains higher levels of alertness that interfere with relaxation. The size of your optimal personal space varies based on cultural background, individual personality, and current stress levels. But most people require approximately 18 inches to 4 feet of comfortable distance from others to feel completely relaxed. This space requirement extends beyond physical proximity to include visual and auditory privacy, as your brain processes intrusions in any sensory modality as potential threats to your security. Creating adequate personal space becomes particularly important for quality sleep. Your bedroom should feel like a private sanctuary where you have complete control over your environment and freedom from unexpected intrusions. This might involve arranging furniture to create visual barriers, using white noise to mask external sounds, or establishing household boundaries around your sleeping space. When your personal space feels secure and protected, your nervous system can fully embrace the vulnerability necessary for deep, restorative sleep. Fact 39. Dopamine and anticipation. Dopamine, often misunderstood as simply a pleasure chemical, actually functions primarily as a neurochemical of anticipation and motivation, playing a crucial role in creating the positive expectations that support relaxation and peaceful sleep. Your brain releases dopamine not when you experience pleasure, but when you anticipate positive outcomes, creating motivational energy that can be directed toward rest and recovery. This anticipation-based dopamine release explains why looking forward to sleep can actually improve sleep quality. When you create positive associations with bedtime through comfortable environments, pleasant routines, and the expectation of rest and restoration, your brain releases dopamine that enhances your motivation to engage in sleep-promoting behaviors and increases your overall satisfaction with the sleep experience. Research has revealed that dopamine interacts closely with your circadian rhythm system, helping regulate the timing of sleep and wake cycles. Healthy dopamine patterns involve gradual increases during morning hours that support wakefulness and motivation, followed by gentle declines in evening hours that allow other neurochemicals like melatonin to promote sleep preparation. You can harness dopamine's role in anticipation by creating positive expectations around your bedtime routine and sleep environment. This might involve planning enjoyable aspects of your evening routine, anticipating the comfort of your bed, or looking forward to the restoration that sleep provides. The key lies in generating genuine positive anticipation rather than forcing artificial excitement. When you approach sleep with pleasant expectations and appreciation for the rest to come, your dopamine system supports, rather than interferes with your natural transition into peaceful sleep. Fact 40. The science of soft lighting. Soft lighting triggers specific neurological responses that prepare your brain for sleep by mimicking the natural light conditions that signal the end of the day to your circadian rhythm system. Your retina contains specialized photosensitive cells, called intrinsically photosensitive retinal ganglion cells, that detect light intensity and color temperature, sending information directly to your suprachiasmatic nucleus to regulate melatonin production and other sleep-related hormones. When exposed to bright blue-rich light, typical of daylight or electronic screens, these cells signal your brain to suppress melatonin production and maintain alertness. Conversely, soft, warm lighting with lower intensity and reduced blue wavelengths allows melatonin production to begin naturally, initiating the biochemical cascade that prepares your body for sleep. The psychological impact of soft lighting extends beyond circadian regulation to influence mood and stress levels. Through its effects on your nervous system, dim, warm lighting reduces the activation of your sympathetic nervous system while enhancing parasympathetic function, creating immediate feelings of calm and relaxation. This response occurs because soft lighting reduces the visual stimulation that keeps your brain in active processing mode. Creating optimal lighting conditions for evening relaxation involves gradually reducing light intensity as bedtime approaches and choosing warm color temperatures that mimic candlelight or sunset. Table lamps with warm bulbs, salt lamps, or even actual candles create ideal lighting conditions for evening activities. This gentle lighting environment signals to both your conscious and unconscious mind that the day is ending and it is time to begin the peaceful transition into restorative sleep. Fact 41. Neuroplasticity and habit formation. Neuroplasticity, your brain's remarkable ability to reorganize and form new neural connections throughout your lifetime, provides the biological foundation for developing lasting habits that promote relaxation and quality sleep. Every time you engage in a calming activity or practice a relaxation technique, you strengthen specific neural pathways while allowing stress-related connections to weaken through disuse. This process occurs through the principle of Hebbian learning, often summarized as neurons that fire together, wire together. When you repeatedly pair specific activities with relaxed states, your brain creates increasingly strong associations between these behaviors and the neurochemical patterns of tranquility. Over time, simply beginning these activities can trigger automatic relaxation responses. The formation of relaxation habits involves several brain regions working in coordination. Your basal ganglia, responsible for habit formation, gradually take over the control of well-practiced relaxation routines, requiring less conscious effort and decision-making. Meanwhile, your hippocampus encodes the contextual memories associated with successful relaxation, and your amygdala learns to associate these practices with safety and comfort. Research has shown that it typically takes between 21 and 66 days of consistent practice for new neural pathways to become sufficiently strengthened to operate automatically. This means that maintaining relaxation practices for approximately 2 months can create lasting changes in how your brain responds to stress and prepares for sleep. Understanding neuroplasticity empowers you to consciously choose which mental and behavioral patterns you want to strengthen, knowing that consistent practice will literally rewire your brain for greater capacity to access peaceful, restful states throughout your life. Fact 42. The psychology of comfort objects. Comfort objects, also known as transitional objects in psychological literature, provide powerful emotional regulation through their ability to activate neural pathways associated with safety, security, and calm attachment. These objects work by triggering the release of oxytocin and reducing cortisol levels, creating measurable changes in your nervous system that promote relaxation and peaceful sleep. The psychological mechanism behind comfort objects operates through classical conditioning and associative learning. When certain objects are consistently present during times of safety, comfort, and relaxation, your brain creates strong neural connections between these items and positive emotional states. Over time, simply touching, holding, or being near these objects can trigger automatic relaxation responses. Comfort objects activate multiple sensory pathways simultaneously, enhancing their effectiveness for promoting calm. The texture of a favorite blanket stimulates C-tactile afferents that promote oxytocin release, while familiar scents embedded in the fabric trigger olfactory memories associated with safety and comfort. Visual familiarity reduces cognitive load, and the weight or warmth of the object can provide gentle proprioceptive input that grounds your nervous system. Research has demonstrated that comfort objects remain psychologically beneficial throughout adult life, not just during childhood. Adults who maintain connections to meaningful comfort objects report better stress management, improved emotional regulation, and higher quality sleep. These objects serve as external anchors for internal states of peace and security, providing reliable access to calm even during challenging periods. Whether it is a special pillow, favorite blanket, meaningful jewelry, or cherished photograph, comfort objects offer tangible connections to feelings of safety that can significantly enhance your ability to relax and achieve restorative sleep. Fact 43. ASMR and sensory processing. Autonomous sensory meridian response, commonly known as ASMR, represents a fascinating neurological phenomenon where specific sensory triggers create pleasurable tingling sensations that promote deep relaxation and often lead to peaceful sleep. This response involves complex interactions between your auditory processing centers, somatosensory cortex, and limbic system, creating unique patterns of brain activity that researchers are still working to fully understand. ASMR triggers typically include gentle sounds like whispering, soft tapping, paper rustling, or careful attention being paid to detailed tasks. These sounds activate specific auditory processing pathways that promote the release of endorphins and oxytocin while reducing cortisol and other stress hormones. The resulting neurochemical changes create profound feelings of relaxation, safety, and contentment. The sensory processing involved in ASMR appears to engage your brain's attention networks in a unique way that promotes present moment awareness without creating mental arousal. Unlike other forms of entertainment or stimulation that activate your brain's reward systems through anticipation and novelty, ASMR triggers create calm, focus on immediate sensory experience, naturally reducing anxiety and rumination. Research has shown that people who experience ASMR demonstrate increased connectivity between brain regions associated with emotional regulation and sensory processing. This enhanced connectivity may explain why ASMR videos and audio recordings have become increasingly popular as sleep aids and stress reduction tools. Even if you do not experience the characteristic tingling sensations, the gentle, predictable sounds used in ASMR content can still promote relaxation through their soft volume, slow pace, and non-threatening nature, making them effective tools for creating the calm mental environment necessary for peaceful sleep. Fact 44. The science of slow speech. The pace at which you hear speech directly influences your nervous system activation, with slow speech patterns naturally promoting relaxation, while rapid speech maintains alertness and can increase anxiety levels. This occurs because your brain automatically synchronizes its processing rhythms with the temporal patterns of incoming auditory information, a phenomenon known as neural entrainment. When you listen to someone speaking at approximately 100 to 150 words per minute, significantly slower than the typical conversational pace of 150 to 200 words per minute. Your brain begins to adopt similar rhythms in its electrical activity. This entrainment process influences your heart rate, breathing pattern, and overall nervous system function, naturally guiding your body toward more peaceful states. Slow speech also reduces the cognitive load required for processing information, allowing your brain to allocate more resources toward relaxation and recovery functions. When speakers use longer pauses between sentences and extend vowel sounds, they create additional space for your nervous system to settle and your breathing to deepen naturally. The psychological impact of slow speech extends to its emotional content and delivery style. Gentle, slowly delivered words tend to activate brain regions associated with comfort and safety, while reducing activity in areas linked to threat detection and stress response. This is why guided meditations, bedtime stories, and relaxation recordings typically employ deliberately slow speech patterns. You can harness the power of slow speech by choosing audio content with appropriately paced narration for your evening routine, or by practicing speaking slowly to yourself during relaxation exercises. The rhythm of slow, gentle speech becomes a pathway for your entire system to shift into the calm, peaceful state necessary for transitioning into deep, restorative sleep. Fact 45. Memory consolidation during rest. During periods of rest and sleep, your brain engages in crucial memory consolidation processes that not only organize and store the day's experiences, but also promote psychological integration and emotional regulation. This consolidation occurs through the coordinated activity of your hippocampus, which temporarily stores new memories, and your neocortex, which provides long-term storage and integration with existing knowledge networks. The memory consolidation process serves a dual purpose in promoting relaxation and sleep quality. As your brain processes and files away the day's experiences, it naturally releases the mental tension associated with unresolved thoughts and incomplete cognitive tasks. This neurological housekeeping allows your consciousness to let go of the day's concerns and settle into the present moment, creating optimal conditions for peaceful sleep. Research has revealed that different types of memories are consolidated during different sleep stages, with emotional memories being processed during REM sleep and factual memories being integrated during slow-wave sleep. This natural sorting and processing system explains why adequate sleep is essential not only for memory formation, but also for emotional regulation and stress management. Fact 46. The psychology of safe spaces. Safe spaces represent environments where your nervous system can completely relax because your brain recognizes multiple indicators of security and protection. These spaces trigger the parasympathetic nervous system through environmental cues that signal the absence of threats, allowing your body to shift into rest and recovery mode naturally. Your brain evaluates safety through multiple sensory channels simultaneously. Visual elements like soft lighting, familiar objects, and organized surroundings communicate order and control. Auditory elements such as quiet or gentle sounds indicate the absence of danger, while tactile elements like comfortable textures and appropriate temperature suggest nurturing conditions. Research has shown that people in psychologically safe environments demonstrate lower cortisol levels, improved heart rate variability, and enhanced immune system function. These physiological changes occur automatically when your amygdala, the brain's threat detection center, determines that current conditions pose no danger. Creating a safe space for sleep involves establishing both physical and psychological boundaries that protect your rest time from external stressors. This includes controlling noise levels, maintaining comfortable temperatures, ensuring adequate privacy, and removing visual reminders of daily responsibilities. When your sleeping environment feels completely secure, your nervous system can embrace the vulnerability necessary for deep sleep. Fact 47. Breathing pattern recognition. Your brain continuously monitors your breathing patterns through specialized receptors in your respiratory system, using this information to regulate your nervous system activation and prepare your body for appropriate responses to environmental conditions. This automatic monitoring system explains why conscious breathing techniques can so effectively trigger relaxation responses. When you breathe in slow, deep patterns, your brain interprets this as a signal that immediate threats are absent, and it is safe to activate restorative functions. The vagus nerve carries information about breathing patterns directly to your brainstem, where it influences heart rate, blood pressure, and hormone production. Research has identified that exhales longer than inhales specifically activate parasympathetic responses, while rapid, shallow breathing maintains sympathetic activation. Your brain uses breathing patterns as real-time feedback about your current safety status, making breath control one of the most direct methods for influencing your psychological state. Establishing consistent breathing patterns before bedtime creates powerful anchors for relaxation. Your respiratory system naturally slows during sleep preparation, and conscious breathing practices can accelerate and enhance this natural process, helping your entire system transition smoothly into rest. Fact 48. The science of gentle sounds. Gentle sounds operate through specific auditory processing pathways that naturally promote relaxation by activating your parasympathetic nervous system, while reducing activation in brain regions associated with threat detection and stress response. Sounds below 60 decibels, roughly equivalent to normal conversation volume, allow your auditory system to process information without triggering alertness responses. Nature sounds like rainfall, ocean waves, or gentle wind create irregular but predictable patterns that engage your attention without overstimulating your nervous system. These sounds mask potentially disruptive noises, while providing consistent auditory anchoring for relaxation states. White noise and pink noise work by reducing the contrast between background silence and sudden sounds that might wake you or prevent deep relaxation. Your brain processes these consistent sound environments as indicators of stable, safe conditions where vigilance is unnecessary. The frequency content of gentle sounds also influences their relaxing properties. Lower frequencies, particularly those below 500 Hz, tend to promote calm states, while higher frequencies can maintain alertness. Understanding this allows you to choose audio environments that support your natural transition into peaceful sleep. Fact 49. Cortisol reduction techniques. Cortisol, your primary stress hormone, follows predictable daily patterns that can be influenced through specific techniques designed to promote natural hormone regulation and support healthy sleep cycles. Understanding how to naturally reduce elevated cortisol levels becomes crucial for achieving the deep relaxation necessary for quality rest. Your cortisol levels naturally peak in early morning hours to help you wake up and gradually decline throughout the day, reaching their lowest point during deep sleep. However, chronic stress, irregular schedules, and poor sleep habits can disrupt this natural rhythm, leading to elevated evening cortisol that interferes with sleep onset and quality. Several evidence-based techniques can help restore healthy cortisol patterns. Progressive muscle relaxation, meditation, gentle exercise, and exposure to nature all demonstrate measurable cortisol reduction effects. These practices work by activating your parasympathetic nervous system and triggering the release of hormones that counteract cortisol's effects. Timing becomes important when implementing cortisol reduction techniques. Practices performed 2 to 3 hours before bedtime allow sufficient time for hormone levels to adjust, while avoiding the activation that might occur immediately after the practice. Creating consistent evening routines that incorporate cortisol-reducing activities helps establish healthy hormone patterns that support natural sleep onset and maintenance throughout the night. Fact 50. The psychology of routine. Psychological routines create powerful mental frameworks that reduce decision fatigue and cognitive load, while establishing predictable patterns that signal safety to your nervous system. When you follow consistent sequences of activities, your brain can shift from active decision-making mode into automatic, peaceful patterns that support natural relaxation. Bedtime routines prove particularly effective because they create temporal boundaries between the active demands of your day and the restorative functions of sleep. These routines work through classical conditioning, where your brain learns to associate specific activities with subsequent sleep, beginning the physiological preparation for rest as soon as the routine begins. Research has shown that people with consistent bedtime routines experience faster sleep onset, better sleep quality, and improved mood regulation. The predictability of routine activities allows your nervous system to anticipate rest, triggering the gradual release of sleep-promoting hormones and the reduction of stress-related neurochemicals. Effective sleep routines typically involve 3 to 5 simple activities performed in the same sequence each night. The key lies in choosing activities that progressively reduce stimulation and promote calm, such as dimming lights, engaging in gentle hygiene practices, or performing quiet, meditative activities. Understanding the psychology of routine empowers you to design evening practices that work with your brain's natural tendency to find comfort in predictability, creating reliable pathways to peaceful sleep. Fact 51. Meditation's effect on brain structure. Regular meditation practice creates measurable structural changes in your brain that enhance your natural capacity for relaxation, emotional regulation, and peaceful sleep. Neuroimaging studies have documented increased gray matter density in areas associated with attention, compassion, and stress regulation, along with decreased activity in regions linked to anxiety and rumination. These structural changes occur through neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to reorganize throughout life. Meditation strengthens the prefrontal cortex, which governs emotional regulation and executive function, while reducing the size and reactivity of the amygdala, your brain's alarm system. The insula, responsible for body awareness and empathy, also becomes more developed through regular practice. Research has shown that even 8 weeks of consistent meditation practice can produce visible changes in brain structure using magnetic resonance imaging. These changes correlate with improved stress resilience, better emotional regulation, and enhanced sleep quality that persists even outside of formal meditation periods. The brain changes from meditation create lasting improvements in your ability to access calm states quickly and maintain them despite external stressors. This enhanced capacity for self-regulation makes it easier to transition from daily activities into the peaceful surrender necessary for sleep. Understanding that meditation literally rewires your brain for greater tranquility can motivate consistent practice and help you appreciate the profound, lasting benefits that extend far beyond the time spent in formal meditation. Fact 52. The science of comfort food psychology. Comfort foods trigger complex neurochemical responses that promote feelings of safety, satisfaction, and emotional regulation through multiple interconnected brain systems. When you consume foods associated with positive memories and emotional comfort, your brain releases dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins while reducing cortisol production, creating natural mood enhancement and stress relief. The psychological comfort derived from certain foods operates through both physiological and emotional pathways. Foods high in tryptophan, such as warm milk, turkey, or bananas, provide the raw materials for serotonin production, directly supporting calm mood states. Complex carbohydrates promote the release of insulin, which helps tryptophan cross the blood-brain barrier more effectively. Comfort foods also activate powerful associative memories linked to safety, care, and nurturing experiences from your past. Your olfactory and gustatory systems connect directly to limbic brain regions responsible for emotion and memory, making taste and smell particularly effective triggers for comforting psychological states. The key to using comfort food psychology for better sleep lies in choosing foods that promote relaxation without causing digestive activation that might interfere with rest. Light, warm foods consumed 2 to 3 hours before bedtime can provide psychological comfort, while supporting natural sleep preparation processes, helping create both emotional satisfaction and physiological conditions conducive to peaceful, restorative sleep. Fact 53. Social support systems. Social support systems influence your stress levels and sleep quality through complex neurochemical pathways involving oxytocin, vasopressin, and endogenous opioids. When you feel connected to supportive relationships, your brain maintains lower baseline stress hormone levels and demonstrates enhanced resilience to daily challenges that might otherwise interfere with relaxation and sleep. Research has consistently demonstrated that people with strong social connections experience better sleep quality, faster recovery from stress, and improved overall health outcomes. This occurs because social support activates neural networks associated with safety and trust, while reducing activity in brain regions linked to threat detection and hypervigilance. Even the knowledge that supportive relationships exist, without requiring active interaction, provides psychological benefits that promote relaxation. Your brain maintains internal representations of supportive others that can be activated through memory, imagination, or even looking at photographs of loved ones, triggering mild oxytocin release and stress reduction. Creating bedtime practices that acknowledge and appreciate your social connections can enhance the relaxation benefits of existing relationships. This might involve brief gratitude reflection on supportive people in your life, looking at meaningful photographs, or simply holding the awareness that you are cared for and valued. These practices activate the neurological benefits of social support without requiring active social interaction, helping create the secure, connected feeling that supports peaceful transition into restorative sleep. Fact 54. The psychology of soft voices. Soft, gentle voices activate specific auditory processing pathways that naturally promote relaxation and reduce nervous system activation. When you hear voices with lower volume, slower pace, and reduced intensity, your brain interprets these qualities as indicators of safety and non-threat, triggering the release of calming neurotransmitters and reducing stress hormone production. The neurological response to soft voices occurs through the auditory brainstem, which processes sound characteristics before they reach conscious awareness. Gentle vocal qualities automatically activate parasympathetic nervous system responses, lowering heart rate and promoting deeper breathing patterns that support relaxation and sleep preparation. Research has shown that people exposed to soft, caring voices demonstrate measurable reductions in cortisol levels and increased oxytocin production. These hormonal changes create immediate feelings of comfort and security, while promoting the physiological conditions necessary for peaceful sleep. Soft voices also engage your mirror neuron systems, causing your nervous system to automatically begin matching the calm, relaxed state that gentle speakers embody. This unconscious mimicking process helps explain why meditation recordings, bedtime stories, and relaxation guides typically employ deliberately soft vocal delivery. You can harness the psychology of soft voices by choosing audio content with appropriately gentle narration for your evening routine, or by practicing speaking softly to yourself during relaxation exercises. The soothing qualities of gentle voices create natural pathways for your nervous system to shift toward the peaceful, trusting state necessary for deep sleep. Fact 55. Time perception and relaxation. When you enter states of deep relaxation, your perception of time undergoes fascinating changes that reflect underlying shifts in consciousness and brainwave activity. During peaceful, meditative states, your brain's default mode network alters its typical processing patterns, creating subjective experiences where minutes can feel like hours or hours can seem to pass in moments. This altered time perception occurs because relaxed states reduce activity in your prefrontal cortex, the brain region responsible for temporal processing and time estimation. As this analytical function diminishes, your consciousness becomes less anchored to clock time and more attuned to natural rhythms and present moment experience. Research has demonstrated that people in relaxed states show decreased activity in brain networks associated with future planning and past reflection, allowing consciousness to expand into spacious present moment awareness. This mental spaciousness creates psychological relief from time pressure and deadline anxiety that often interfere with sleep. The relationship between relaxation and time perception creates a positive feedback loop. As you relax more deeply, time pressure diminishes, which allows even deeper relaxation to occur. This understanding can transform your approach to bedtime, helping you release concerns about how long it takes to fall asleep, and instead focus on enjoying the peaceful transition itself. Fact 59. Serotonin and contentment. Serotonin, often called the happiness neurotransmitter, plays a crucial role in mood regulation, sleep quality, and the feeling of deep contentment that supports peaceful rest. Your brain produces serotonin primarily in response to sunlight exposure, physical activity, social connection, and gratitude practices, creating natural pathways to enhanced well-being. When serotonin levels are optimal, you experience improved emotional regulation, reduced anxiety, and enhanced capacity for experiencing pleasure and satisfaction. This neurotransmitter also serves as a precursor to melatonin production, making adequate serotonin essential for healthy sleep cycles. Research has shown that people with balanced serotonin levels report greater life satisfaction, better stress management, and improved sleep quality. Simple practices like morning sunlight exposure, gentle exercise, and gratitude reflection can naturally support healthy serotonin production throughout the day. Understanding serotonin's role in contentment allows you to make lifestyle choices that support natural happiness and peaceful sleep. Activities that promote serotonin release create lasting improvements in your capacity for relaxation and life satisfaction. Fact 60. The science of closure. Psychological closure represents the satisfying completion of mental processes, experiences, or daily activities that allows your mind to rest peacefully without unfinished cognitive tasks, maintaining background activation. When you achieve closure, your brain can fully transition from active processing mode into the restorative states necessary for deep sleep. Incomplete tasks and unresolved thoughts activate your brain's executive networks, maintaining low-level stress that interferes with relaxation. Creating closure through simple completion rituals, reflection practices, or mental acknowledgement of the day's end helps your nervous system recognize that active thinking is no longer required. Research has demonstrated that people who establish clear transitions between their active day and sleep time experience better sleep, onset and quality. This might involve journaling to process thoughts, tidying your space, or performing brief gratitude reflection. The psychological satisfaction of closure triggers the release of calming neurotransmitters while reducing cortisol production, creating ideal conditions for peaceful sleep. Understanding closure's importance allows you to consciously create completion experiences that help your mind settle into tranquil rest.